I said I'm not gonna vlog you peeing. Hi guys, we're in Seoul. I found some art stores that are right by the hotel. This is our view. Down there is like a whole bunch of shopping stores. There's like a mall next door. There's an art box and a daiso and a department store. And then there's like a night market with a bunch of street food over there. This is the outfit for today. Today we're just going around the area of the hotel. Where are we? Myeongdong. We're gonna go to the mall, and then I found a couple stationery stores that are really close. There's like a fountain pen store. There's a place that sells traveler's notebook stuff, so I'm gonna get a traveler's notebook cover because I don't have one. Oh, there was a place where you can make your own journal. And then we're gonna go to Art Box and some makeup stores. So I would like to apologize in advance for the camera banding and so many out of focus shots. This was my first time filming the GoPro Hero 10, and honestly the quality is not that great. But anyway, I tried to make this as much of an art focused trip as I could. I was with my mom, so obviously there were limitations. I didn't want to drag her everywhere. Basically my goal with this trip was to buy art supplies that were either way cheaper here than back in the US, or to buy unique things that I haven't really seen before. I only had about 2 or 3 stores planned ahead of time to go to, but while I was there I kind of just searched up what was in the area, and I actually found a lot right by our hotel. So we stayed in Myeongdong, which is a very touristy area. It's also kind of in the center of Seoul, but there were so many, you know, stationery stores that were within walking distance. So I feel like this is a good place to stay if it's your first time in Seoul, or if you're really into stationery. The train station's also nearby, so you have access to get to different areas. I did bring my travel sketching set. I didn't really sketch that much on this trip just because I wasn't really waiting around. The only time I ever really sketch on the spot when I'm on vacation is usually when I'm waiting around for something. So if I'm waiting for, you know, my mom, or I'm waiting to check into a hotel or something, that's usually when I'll whip out the sketchbook. I also like to sketch on the plane. I feel like when it comes to travel sketching, a lot of people will either sketch at their hotel after the day's done, or they'll go back home and they'll use their pictures as references to kind of sketch out the trip. For me, I think sketching when you're back at home kind of takes the magic out of it because the trip's already over. I mean, maybe some people like to memorize and remember their trip that way, but I think for me, I don't know, I just prefer not to. I pasted some washi tape in my sketchbook before leaving for the trip, so I would have some references to draw from just in case I was on the plane with no internet. I drew this little spread based off of some of the stamps. Also did this oil pastel drawing based off of the Torii Gate. The oil pastels did not stick very well to the sketchbook at all. These are from the notebook therapy sets. I noticed that they are really into fragrance. There were a lot of perfume, like boutique stores. They had a lot of incense and reed diffusers as well, just in random stores. I also noticed that they had a lot of art galleries, which was really cool to see. I felt like anywhere that I zoomed in on the map, there was usually one, you know, within a mile radius. And especially near the Insadong Cultural Street and the Ssamzigil art complex that I went to, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that later. There was like an art gallery on every corner basically, and I didn't have any time to go into those. Like I said, I was with my mom, but I feel like Seoul just as a whole has a really good art scene. I feel like besides having art everywhere, like galleries and exhibits and stuff like that, you can kind of see it in a lot of their modern culture, like with K-pop and the way that they design their interiors and spaces. It's all just very creative and aesthetic, and I feel like they really pay attention to the small details. But anyway, so our first full day after we landed, we basically just shopped around the area. I went to Himiko, which is an indie makeup store. I did do quite a bit of makeup and accessory shopping, but I'm going to include that at the end of the video so you don't have to watch it unless you want to. I also tried this matcha cafe called Mecha, which was right next to our hotel. Honestly, it was a flop. also just too sweet. Like they put too much fruit or sugar in it. Anyway, oh my god, the freaking boba and the cafes. I know Koreans are known for their cafes, but we also had a Haiti right next to the hotel. So, you know, I tried to adventure outside of my comfort zone and try something new, but I got Haiti pretty much every single day that I was there. Okay, I'm sorry. They were $4 and it was so close. How could I not? We did try other drinks too. I think we tried new cafes probably every day or every other day. One of my favorite cafes from the trip was this 8th floor one. Each floor had a different theme, so you would order on the 8th floor. They had a plant themed one, they had a K-pop themed floor. The rooftop was really pretty with the view. I got a green grape aid, which was delicious. We had this really good okonomiyaki and yakisoba spot, which is kind of funny. We're eating Japanese food in Korea. Honestly, my mom and I don't really like Korean food that much. I really wanted to find melon bingsu too, because that's been on my bucket list basically, and I finally got my freaking melon bingsu. It was so good. Destroyed. Overall, it was just really fun to walk around and explore. But yeah, let's show you guys all of the art and stationery stores that I went to, and we'll get into the haul as well. Hi guys, welcome to the haul portion of the vlog. I'm really excited to share with you everything that I brought back from my Seoul trip. So the first store that I actually went to was Daiso, and actually the Daiso that we went to was right by our hotel, and I think it was the second largest daiso in Korea or in Seoul or whatever. It was the one that had like 12 stories, so it had 12 floors of stuff, and each floor had like a different category. I'm not super into daiso art supplies and stationery just because I'm a little bit picky, and I know they can be good quality, but for me I would rather invest a little bit more to get something higher quality. But they did have these really cool paint sets. They had like they were based on like famous artists. They had like a Van Gogh and like a Monet one and stuff like that, but they were different types of paint. So they had like a watercolor set, they had a gouache set, they had an oil paint set, and stuff like that, and they were actually really cheap. I didn't end up getting one because like I said, I just didn't think that I would use it, but I could appreciate all of the items that they had. They had a bunch of stickers. They had like 3 movable racks of stickers, and you know, like all the common stuff that you can find, like containers. They had washi tape, they had pens and pencils and things like that. So all I got from there was a few sticker sheets. I got this one that has black and silver, and it comes with 4 different sheets. This one, I really like the black design, and it does come with pink too, which I don't know if I'll use, but they were pretty cute. And then I got this one. I also got this for the black sticker sheet, but I think I'll use the other colors probably because they're pretty cute. So that was everything that I got from Daiso. The next store that I went to is actually a store I didn't get to go to at all because it was closed. I wanted to go to the T.i.m.e, and I saw this on a couple people's YouTube videos, but also I was thinking of buying a traveler's notebook cover because I have a couple inserts that I bought in Japan, but I didn't end up buying the cover for it, and I was hoping to get something cool in Korea, or at least just like a little bit cheaper because it's like less import costs. So I was gonna go to the store, and first of all, it was really hard to find. I had to go through an apartment building, and then that was actually the wrong entrance, and then the security guard was like asking us why we were there and what we were looking for, and we had to use the Google Translate app, and we were like telling him that we were looking for the store, and he kept just being like, no. And then when he was like translating it, it kind of sounded like it was only open to the apartment residents, which didn't really make sense because I saw a lot of people going to the store in YouTube videos. But anyway, we went around and we tried to look for it again, and it was actually like a very side entrance, and you had to go up the stairs, and then it was like in a little hallway, but they were closed, and it said on the map app that they were closed the whole week, and I was like, well, that can't be true because I've literally seen people go there. Like, why would they be closed the whole week? But they were closed because they were, I guess, presenting at a convention or something, and so they just weren't there the entire time that we were gonna be there. Which sucks, but that's okay. I think all that thing smelled. So anyway, luckily it wasn't too much work to get there. It was maybe like a 10-minute walk from our hotel, so we didn't lose too much time. But that was still a bummer. The next place I went to was also a 10-minute walk from the hotel, and this was a store called Pencafe, and this was another hidden store, and I also thought that this one was closed because they had a sign right in front of the door that said we're closed for renovations, or we're gonna be closed for renovations. But there were people inside at the counter, and so my mom like peeked through and she was like, "Are you guys open?" And they were like, okay. And so we just went in there. This was a fountain pen store, so they mostly sold ink, and they had some dip pens and a big range of fountain pens. There were a bunch that you could sample and test out to try, just like laying there. They didn't have any like super expensive ones, but they also had a bunch of like open bottles. I didn't know if you were supposed to try those with the dip pens, but there was like one bottle on the table that you could try. That was really cool. So this is the stuff that I got. So I got 3 inks. The first one is a sailor ink, so it's a Japanese ink. And this is Sailor Manyo Sumomo. And I don't really have any peachy colored inks, and I was really drawn to this color for some reason. I usually lean towards more dusty blues or greens, but I wanted something different and I thought this color was really pretty, so I got this. And then these two were brands that I've heard of, but I didn't know that they were Korean. So I got a Waringal ink, and this one is in the shade Mind. And I got a Dominant Industry ink, and I didn't know that Dominant Industry was Korean either. This color is called Autumn Forest, and if I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember the exact color that this was or that this was. I just remember that I liked it. But I'll put swatches up on the screen so you guys can see what that looks like. I was thinking also about getting a fountain pen, but the ones that I was looking at were the same price as they would be if I just bought them in America, and I was like, I would rather save the money that I'm spending on this trip on something else that's unique to here, you know what I mean? So the next thing I got were actually caricatures. And this was a place called Acorn Caricature. I found this walking down the shopping street by our hotel, but they were super cheap, and I like the styles of their drawings a lot better than like the Western kind of like ugly caricatures where they're made to be like satire and like emphasize your features in a bad way. These were really cute. So I got one for me, and you could pick to do black and white or color. And this was mine. It was so cute. I love that he got the details of my clothing and the peace sign. The only thing is I was wearing silver jewelry and he put gold earrings, but I think it's because I got it in color. He wanted to like add more color. But it's super cute. I also did one with me and my mom together, and this one we did black and white. I also felt like I wanted to get my boyfriend a souvenir, and they said that they could do ones from pictures, so I showed them a picture of him, and it's so cute. It looks just like him. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna be so happy. And then I showed him when he got home, and he was like, is that supposed to be me? I was like, yeah. Does it not look like you? Anyway, that was a super fun experience, and it was really cool seeing them draw, and I have a piece of art to hang on my wall that looks like me now. So this next one is probably my favorite place of the whole trip, and this was Paper Tailor. This was about a 20-minute walk from the hotel, so it wasn't too bad. They do custom notebooks, but they also had a separate stationery store. I saw these really cute hourglasses that I wanted to do for 10-minute studies, but I was worried about it breaking in the luggage, so I didn't end up getting one. But I felt like the selection was really well curated, and they had a very good variety of products, I feel like. I don't feel like they had a lot in terms of washi tape and stickers, but they had a good variety of different kinds of notebooks that you could buy, and different useful stationery items like scissors, clips, things like that. They had a decent fountain pen selection as well, and their inks were mostly Dominant Industries with some other ones like Pilot and Sailor. When it came to doing a custom notebook, basically you just pick out everything, and you just need the basics like the cover and the paper, and then everything you add on from there is going to be an extra cost. But honestly, it ended up being a lot cheaper than I thought it would be for something custom like that, so it really wasn't that bad at all. So first you pick out your cover. They had a bunch of cover options to choose from. Most of them were pretty plain. They had some cool like rainbow iridescent ones, and they also had like a premium selection with like a faux leather that was like double the cost of like the cardboard ones. And then you go to choose your papers, and you're allowed to put 2 different inserts in there, so you can pick 2 of the same one or you can do different ones. They had a bunch of different paper choices. They had like Tomoe River paper, they had normal lined paper, dot grid paper, line paper, that kind of a thing, but they also had some color paper, they had black paper, they had pink and blue paper, they also had drawing paper, so like they had mixed media paper. I ended up getting one of the plain drawing papers and then one insert of the mixed media paper. They also had a small selection of like planner inserts, which were undated. They also had Hanji Korean traditional paper, which I thought was really cool. And I also wanted to get that, but the paper was a little bit thin and I just knew that I wasn't going to like the ghosting on the back if I was using it for drawing. So I didn't end up getting the Hanji paper. Then you go to pick everything like your book band, you pick your bookmarks. If you want to put like a pocket in the front or back, you can do that as well. They have like paper and plastic options. And I was going to do one of the thick bookmark ribbons with a charm, and I literally spent maybe like 10 minutes looking for the charm that I wanted, and then I decided not to get the charm and I got 2 bookmarks instead, which I really wanted the charm, but since I was doing both the normal sketch paper and the mixed media paper, I thought it would just be more kind of useful and practical to have 2 different bookmark strips, and you couldn't like mix and match them since the charm one was like thick and you could only do one of those. And after you pick out all of your options, you put it together on your tray, you pay for it, and they'll put it together for you. They do like custom foiling, custom stamping, that kind of a thing. You can do like, what is it, debossing of your name. And it only took 20 minutes for mine to get put together. I had no wait, but my mom wanted to do a second one after getting her first one, and there were a couple of people that went after us, so it actually ended up taking about 2 hours for her second one. So I would just keep that in mind if you're planning on going. If it's busy, if you have stuff to do in the area, maybe you could go and come back. They let you come back by the end of the day, which they close at like 8 o'clock. So I have 2 separate bags. This was for the custom notebook one, and then this was the bag for the rest of the stationery stuff, which it says YP Books, which is a bookstore that was upstairs. So I don't know if their stationery store was part of the store or if they were just using their bags. But I wanted to show you my custom sketchbook because I'm so excited about it. I got this paper clip, and this was one of the only extras that they had as a part of their store that you could just buy separately. But I thought this was really cool because it's a clip, but it has leather, so it won't like leave creases in your paper. As with these over here, you can see I have these like normal binder clips, but when I clip it, it kind of leaves like an indent. I don't know if you can see that. So with this, it's like padded, which I thought was really cool. I actually haven't opened this since I saw it. Okay, let's see. It's so pretty, oh my god. So I chose to go with this green cover. It is a paper, like cardboard kind of cover, but the paper is really cool and it has like this texture on it. And I decided to go with a green brown kind of like earthy theme. So on the cover, I got this matte gold foiling and it says "Art is You" with a star. They also have their like brand on the cover itself, which I thought was really cute. It's like this fabric ribbon. And then I got this book band, which was really nice. I love that the book band is like seamless with the cover, because I hate when a book band is like flappy and loose at the back. And then when you have it on the desk, it's kind of like sitting out to the side and it doesn't really like stay flush. They also gave me a pen loop, which I was going to buy, but they had a promotion going on where if you left a review, they would give this for free. So I left a review on Google, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna use this yet. I just thought it was nice and it was pretty cheap, but I was like, if this is a sketchbook that maybe I'll take on the go, I was thinking maybe I could just put it up here or something and then have like one mechanical pencil in there. These were the bookmarks that I ended up getting. And this is split up into 2 sections, which I don't know if you can tell. So the first half, I did the normal sketch paper, and then the second half, I did the thicker mixed media paper. I also added a pocket on the back just in case. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna use the pocket for. I just wanted to add a pocket. I was like, maybe I could put some stickers in here or something. But anyway, this was honestly probably my favorite thing that I brought back from the trip. I just love this cover, it's so cute. I think this might be B5 size. I thought it was A5, but it looks a little bit smaller. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so this is my A5 Midori journal, and then this is the sketchbook. So it's a little bit smaller. I think it's probably B5. They didn't have any other sizes to choose from. They only had this size. But honestly, I kind of like it. I think it's small, but it's big enough to want to sketch in it. And I think if I do make this a sketchbook that I bring in my bag, the pocket and the pen loop will come in handy, and it'll be small enough to do that. So I'm really happy with this one. If I went back and I had to do one thing in Korea, I think this is probably the one thing that I would do, just because I love this so much. I did actually want to do 2 different ones, but I didn't really need to, and I wanted to save the money that I had for the other shop. So I did only get 1, but like I said, my mom got 2. You could get 2 if you wanted to, and things like that. So anyway, and now for the other stuff that I got. I spent a lot of money here. So I got this book band pen thing, and I actually have one of these that I bought in Japan before, and it was the wrong size for I think like an A4 sized journal, which I don't use a lot of anymore. And even if I did, I wouldn't take that on the go where I would want to put this kind of a thing on there. So I got one the right size this time, and I actually like this a lot better because it has the strap. So I think this would be a lot better for putting like a fountain pen in the front and then maybe like a pencil in the back. But this one can be used for both B6 and A5. So it kind of shows on the back here, like if you do the B6, it'll be pretty tight and just like exactly the size of the journal. And then if you do A5, it'll be stretched a little bit. I don't 100% have plans for this yet because I honestly kind of struggle with taking my sketchbook out and about, but I think this will come in handy for something. I guess technically this would fit on my new sketchbook too if I wanted to do that. So next up is the fountain pen inks, and I got 5 from this shop. I don't know why. I don't know if it was just the way that they swatched it or the lighting in the store, but I thought the swatches of these looked so much prettier than the ones inside of Pencafe where I got the other Dominant Industry inks. And they also had a couple different options that I didn't see at the other store, I think. I got these 5. These 2 are really cute. These are like painting inspired. This one was a special edition one, and this was really pretty. And then I got these other 2 as well. And the funny thing about it is I only bought 4, and then I was like looking at them, and then I kind of went back around while I was waiting for my mom's notebook, and I was looking at the colors, and I was like, oh, I got these 5. But then I was like, wait, I only got 4. And then I was like, well, why did I think that I got this one, but I didn't get it? And it was one that I liked, but I just decided not to get. So I just got it. So I got 5. Anyway, I have these. Next up is a restock on my Midori notebooks. Like you just saw, I use the A5 dot grid for like everyday journaling, and these were super cheap over there. So I got 2 of them just to stock up. I did also get a B6 size blank with a cover, and I thought this might be fun as a travel sketchbook or one to just throw in my bag. I like want to experiment with different sizes of sketchbooks and like travel sketchbooks, but I thought this would maybe be like a cheaper way to try out a different size because these were pretty cheap over there. So I got this to try. I'm not 100% sure when I'll use it or if I'll like it, but I also got this Penco operating mat, and this is just for like cutting and stuff like that. It also has measurements. Then I got a couple small things. You probably saw this in the footage of the inks, but I got the teacup ink swatch paper, and this was so cute. I was kind of hesitant to buy this because I have like an ink swatching notebook that I haven't even filled up yet, but I thought this was really pretty, and also I love tea, so I just wanted to get this. The cost honestly wasn't too bad. It's really nice. It has like a teacup, and then you can put like the brand and the ink, and then you can put what tool you used. I also got 2 clips because the only clips I have for my journals are those like little metal ones that I showed you, like this. This is all I have. And I don't really use clips like that often, but I thought it would be nice to have, especially if I'm planning on getting like a traveler's notebook in the future. So I got the classic clampy Penco clip in black, and then I also got this metal one that's kind of more of like a matcha olive color. This is a bit smaller. They had a bunch of different colors to choose from, which I thought was really cool. And obviously they were cheaper over there, so I just got it. Anyway, this is all the stuff that I got from Tailor or Paper Tailor. Next up is actually some stuff that I got from Muji, and this was right next to the Paper Tailor shop, so we just stopped by. I didn't film any footage of it because I was like, well, it's just Muji. Muji kind of has the same stuff across the board as far as like stationery goes, so I did get this pen case with the separate compartment, and I was thinking about wanting one of these because I took my travel sketching kit, which was in this box, and this is the perfect size box for the pens. Like, they fit perfectly in here, but I had to put my kneaded eraser in here because this was the only pen box that I brought. And obviously my pens would stick to the kneaded eraser, so I was like, wouldn't it be perfect if I had that pen case with the separate compartment for the eraser? So I got it. I also ended up getting a Muji fountain pen, and I remember a long time ago they used to have like the metal one that was like flush with the entire like cap to body. They don't sell that one anymore, and I think I remember the last time I went that they didn't have it, but I didn't know that they really discontinued it. But anyway, this is a plastic fountain pen. It has like a plastic cap and a plastic body, so I thought this would be really nice to take with me on the go because I don't really want to take my nicer fountain pens out, especially if I'm just like throwing it on like a pen loop or something. But I thought this would be nice. I could also just maybe throw this in like my pencil case or something and not worried about it getting too dinged up because I'm just kind of throwing it in there. There were also packs of the cartridges. I don't know if these take universal cartridges or not, but I bought a pack of cartridges. It was only a little over $1, which is crazy, so I got these. The next place I went to was the Ssamzigil art complex. It was both a shopping area, but it was also part of the Insadong cultural street, which also had a lot of like artists and like artisan makers and Korean traditional artists and stuff like that. But this art complex had 4 floors of independent artists and makers, which was so amazing to look at. They had so many options of DIY and doing workshops. It was really just nice to be surrounded by art everywhere, and like everybody had something different to offer, which was really cool. And the Insadong Cultural Street was maybe only like a 5 to 10 minute walk from Paper Tailor, so it was really close by. Everything was pretty much within walking distance of my hotel, so I didn't necessarily need to take like a taxi or anything. It was a nice adventure. My mom made this bracelet for my niece who's 9 months old, so that was a fun thing that she got to do. I didn't adventure into every single store because we didn't have that much time here, but it was really fun to just see everything and take a look. So I got things from 2 different stores there, and the first one was this artist by the name of dusoon. I don't know. I got this little free sticker sheet for buying a bunch of stuff, and this is everything that I got in the bag. Their art style was really cute, and they had a lot of the same kind of characters and like art designs just like turned into different items. So they had like art prints, which I got a bunch of. They had like tote bags, they had mouse pads, they had keychains, and this is her business card. Dusoon. So cute. Okay, so I got this memo pad, and they are kind of like little cherry blossom characters. I don't necessarily use memo pads that often, but I loved their artwork and I thought this would be a fun purchase. So I bought this, and then I got a bunch of art prints. They were really cheap too. They were honestly maybe $1 or less than $1 each. So she had like a food series, and where she turned the food into like her little characters. This is like a taiyaki one, or I forgot the name in Korean. Then I got this bubble tea one, of course, you know me. And then I got this strawberry daifuku one that had little dogs. It's so cute. And then I got these 4 that were kind of like scenery. So this one was a beach. This one is a really cute plant. I don't know the name of this flower. I loved this one and this one as well. And I also loved this one. And I really like the color palettes that they picked on these. I thought these would be really inspiring and I wanted to have more art prints to put up on my wall above my desk. The next place I went was a custom vinyl notebook store, and they actually had like a sample of this at the paper tailor store. I guess they're kind of like a collab or the same brand because they had the same paper options and they were giving instructions on like how to get to this vinyl store from the paper tailor store. I kind of ran into it on accident because I wasn't like looking for the store. I just looked at it and I was like, oh, that's the place that they were mentioning over there. I think they're owned by the same company, which is called Orom, or maybe that's just the paper that they use inside because the paper inserts are kind of branded with that same name. But anyway, I got these two notebooks and these are made with real vinyl. So they recycled and repurposed like old unwanted vinyls and they cut them out, and they also have NFC chips in them, which is really cool. You can like use your phone to like tap and you can reprogram it to link to like a song that you like or whatever. But this was the custom one that I got. I really liked the cover of this one, and this one I chose the paper that goes inside. So I got the paper for fountain pens. It's really smooth. This one was just a packaged one, so they had a couple pre-made ones for sale, and this one had blank paper, but I got this last minute because I love the angel on here, the like baby angel. So I'm gonna use this as like a sketchbook. I don't know, like this is what I go to Asia for, and this is what I go to like unique stationery stores for, is because you can't just like find something like this at the grocery store or at normal stores, you know what I mean? The next place I went was called Point of View, and this one was a train ride away from our hotel. This was one of the most mentioned stationery stores in YouTube videos when I did research for my trip. I'm gonna be honest, I felt like it was a little bit underwhelming, but it could also be that I had different expectations going into the store. I would say this is more a store that you go into for the experience, not necessarily to shop. Like a lot of people say, it's very curated and it feels more like a museum. Everything is very laid out very beautifully, and it's just very fun to go through the store and like look at everything they have like in the cases and everything like that. The bottom floor had all of the most commonly used stationery items. They had a bunch of different pens, journals, they had some stamps, they had some unique pens like oversized pencils, they had like really pretty crayon color palette sets and a bunch of other stuff that I haven't seen in other stores. So if you're into just buying, you know, random pens and stuff like that, you might like this store. They also had a ton of unique notebook and like planner choices that I've never seen before. So if you're someone that likes to use a lot of pre-made undated planners or like to-do list pads, you might like the choices that they have. On the second floor, they had a traveler's notebook section, which was really nice. They were actually sold out of the covers, so I ended up not getting a cover this trip, but they had a bunch of refills and they also had some exclusive stamps that I added to my travel sketchbook, which was really fun. The top floor mostly had really super niche items like letter openers. They had some incense, they had nice wax seal supplies. They were all mostly expensive and nothing that I could really use, but they were fun to look at. They did have a variety of products, but I also noticed that a lot of the same items from their store brand were placed in different spots around the store. So I would go up to a notebook thinking that it was something new and like a different kind of notebook to look at that I haven't seen, but it would be the same notebook that I saw downstairs or in this other section. And I kind of understand because it's their store brand, but I think it also kind of led to it feeling like they had less variety, but it also worked because I picked one up because I saw it like 5 times. I think also just for me, I think that I can be a little bit picky about my style when it comes to my stationery and my tools. And if you love a more like vintage or simple aesthetic, you might love the designs and the cards and the journals from that store. But I think for me, it wasn't 100% my cup of tea, which was okay. But yeah, this is everything that I got from Point of View. I got this undated kind of planner weekly section, and when I used to bullet journal, this was the format that I used for my weekly sections a lot, and I thought it would be nice to have an undated version of this. The planner that I'm using right now has more of like a time blocking layout, and I thought this would just be nice to have because it's undated if I wanted to use this. It also comes with like a little to-do list, and it's undated, so I don't have to feel bad about not using it. I can just kind of use it as I need it. It's also nice because it was pretty simple and blank inside, so if I want to go in and decorate it with some stationery, I definitely have the freedom to do so. The other thing I got was this notebook sketchbook thing. I don't know. This was really unique, and they had like 3 different color palettes, which I'm almost wishing that I bought one more or the other ones because I think these are really unique and fun. But it's just like a blank notebook with different colored paper inside. And so you go through and it'll be like white paper, and then it's like pink paper, and then it's like gold paper, and it's all blank. So I didn't know if I should like use this for a sketchbook or maybe some kind of like collaging journal scrapbook kind of thing, but I thought this was really fun, so I decided to get it. And then in here, which I love the bag design, so cute, I got this notebook. This was the notebook that I saw 5 times around the store, and it's blank. So I thought maybe I can use it as another travel sketchbook. I don't know, I just got it. I like the design. I thought it would also just be nice to have something with their store brand on it because I went there and you can only get this at their store, obviously. And then I got 3 traveler's notebook refills. So these 2 are half-sized. This one just has blank Midori cream paper. This one is a craft paper. And then I got this black paper refill, which I thought would be really fun. Still no cover. I have no cover for my traveler's inserts, but it's okay, someday. Next was Homi Art Shop. I saw this in a lot of YouTube videos as well, so this was one of the stores that I was really excited to go to, and it was a lot better than I expected, which was really nice. They had such a big selection of different brands and mediums. They had like paint supplies, they had linoleum printmaking supplies, you know, where you like carve out the stamp. They had calligraphy supplies, they had paper, they had wood pieces. They even had like tools to stretch your own canvas, so it was really like the maker's heaven. I found a lot of unique stuff that wasn't usually carried in stores in the US, at least from what I've seen. They had these like giant oil sticks. They had like powder pigment paint and like the sticks that you grind down to make paint. They even had a small selection of like fountain pen inks and calligraphy supplies. I don't know if I said that already. And then I found these jasmine scented pencils, which I didn't end up getting, but I thought they were really cool. I couldn't smell them, so I didn't get them, but that was fun. I appreciated that everything or most things were in stock, and they had like the biggest variety of supply sets compared to stores in the US like Michael's. I feel like you can only find like a couple different paint sets and a couple different sets of colored pencils and stuff like that. But here they had a huge variation of supplies with different numbers for colors in each set. Like they had like a 12 color set, 24, 72, 120. They had it in different materials. Like if you were looking at the pencils, they had like watercolor pencils, they had pastel pencils, normal colored pencils, and within that, different brands for each one as well. So they had like different brands, different materials, and different numbers of colors in each set. So there was just like everything. Some of the sets also had like a reference card to show you what colors were in each set and you could compare them. They had a huge variety of empty paint palettes that I haven't seen before with different kinds of materials, different use cases, and different features. Their sketchbook selection was also probably the biggest I've ever seen, and they carry both your typical brands like Strathmore and Canson, but they also had a bunch of unique brands that I haven't seen before. So this was everything I got from Homi Art Shop. This is a big bag. I spent a lot of money here, guys. But honestly, in comparison, the stuff from here wasn't that expensive compared to what it would have been in the US. You know what I mean? Let me pull all this stuff out. Got so much. Okay, where do we start? I guess I'll start here. I'll start with the small stuff. First, I saw these ink swatch papers, and this was in like the calligraphy fountain pen section. And I know I was just talking about how I don't really use ink swatch papers, like I have an ink swatch notebook, but I thought these were really cute. So this one is like kind of like a Polaroid one. These two are like film strips, and they had a black one as well. And I thought these might be really fun to do like little fountain pen paintings inside, like kind of like mini color painting strips. I don't know. So you can kind of see through on the back like how big those are. I thought those were really fun, and I haven't seen these anywhere. I got one of these sanding pads for my graphite pencils. It was really cheap, so I thought why not just pick one up. This was actually the first thing I picked out in the store, and it's a 12 set of the Holbein gouache. I wasn't planning on buying gouache because I already have like the Himi gouache set, and I wanted to finish that up before I bought gouache, but it was so cheap. It was so cheap. And I was just looking at this for fun because I was like, oh, like, you know, like the expensive gouache, like it looks really nice. And then I rang up the price and I was like, oh my God, like, is it that cheap in the US? And then I think this set is probably close to $50 here, and it was maybe like 20. So I got it, and now I have some nice gouache, and I'm really excited. Like I said, they had a bunch of different sets of everything. So for the 12 set, they had a 12 set of the gouache, they had a 12 set of their watercolors, they had a 12 set of the bigger paint tubes. This is like the smaller one. They also had like the 36 color set and so on and whatever. That was that. In here they put the pencil lead that I bought, and I bought 3 different kinds of pencil lead. I've been wanting some colored lead for a while now, so I got like the standard mix set, which is 0.5, and then I don't know if these are different colors. I'm assuming they are because they had a different color cap for the same like hardness grade, but I got the 4B and then the 2B just to experiment with like some light sketching with mechanical pencils. For paper, I wanted to get a lot more sketchbooks, but I already spent a lot of money, and I was like, a lot of the sketchbooks I can find in the US anyway, so I just got these 2 because I haven't seen these before, and these were really unique. This is a brown sketch album. It's really cute and small. And then this one is a watercolor sketch album, so I thought this would be really cute to make like tiny watercolor paintings or gouache. Next up, I just got some cold press watercolor paper. This was super affordable, and I like the square shape, so I decided to pick this up. Next up is this tiny little paint palette for like travel sketchbooking. I'm sure you've all seen these online where you can like clip it to your notebook, and then the one side is like the paints and then the other side is like the palette. And it was only 6,000 won, which is maybe like $4. So I was like, oh my God, why not just pick that up? I want to do more travel sketching, and I'm not really into travel painting, but since it was so cheap, I was like, why not just give it a try? Next, we're gonna get on to the real art supplies that I bought. So next I went to look at the oil pastel set, and this is actually really funny because I didn't know that this was a Korean brand. This is Gallery by Mungyo. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers using their oil pastels, and I wanted to try them out because it seemed like they were kind of a step up from like the student grade ones, but they weren't quite super expensive like Sennelier or Caran d'Ache or something. And these are the oil pastels I have right now, which they're fine. I mean, they work just fine. It's a 36 color set, but the thing with these is they're really kind of more bright when it comes to the color palette, and I wanted to try something else. So I got the Gallery 48 color set. They also have the 72 color one. Saw that it was actually made in Korea, and so it was a lot cheaper over here than if I would have had to buy it online and ship it overseas. They also had a set of soft pastels, and I just got the 15 color one, which isn't a huge selection, but I've never tried soft pastels before, and I know that they're kind of a different texture. They're more of like a chalky texture than oil pastels, so I wanted to just try them out. So I got the 15 color set. The next one is probably my favorite purchase of this whole haul, and I'm really excited for these. This is so unique, and this is the kind of thing that I was looking for. This is a Chaehyung Korean colors set. I don't know what kind of paint these are. It doesn't say. I think they're just like a traditional Korean paint. not necessarily like in one category. They had two different sets and I was really struggling to decide which one to get, but I ended up getting this one that had more pastel colors, and I really liked these because when I was looking at them, it looked like they had a lot of like muted colors, and I'm really into like muted colors. So I'm really excited to try these out and play with them, especially because they're, you know, Korean and there's something different that not everybody has. And these were a little bit expensive. I kind of splurged on these, but I was like, I wanted the full set. I think I want to make a separate video on these, like trying these out and seeing how they work. So, but for this, because these are paint tubes, I don't already have like a palette. So I decided to get just a plain palette. And like I mentioned, they had a bunch of different choices for plain palettes. This one had exactly the amount of colors because this is a 24 set plus 2 extra tubes, so it's 26. And this was the only one that had exactly 26 wells in it. So I got this to put the paints in. That was everything that I got from Homi. The next place I went was a wappen place. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I'm sure you've seen online they have like these customizable bag tags. These are everywhere in Korea and they're super popular because people love to decorate, you know, like their bags with charms and stuff like that. But basically you can personalize like a bag tag, you could do a tote bag, they have pencil cases, they have passport cases, all of that stuff. And then they have all these little patches that you can pick out and you pay per piece. So, you know, the more you do, the more you pay. I was thinking about doing an apron for painting because I saw they had one of those cute like Korean cafe style aprons. And I was like, oh, that would be perfect for, you know, when I paint. Maybe I could put like my name on it or something, but I decided to go with something smaller and cheaper. So I got this pencil case. Do I have enough pencil cases? Yes. Do I need another one? No, but I feel like these are very versatile and you can use them for things other than pencils. You can use it for markers, painting supplies, you could put your makeup in here. You know, like you can always use these for something. So I will show you. So cute. On one side I did my name and then the star because you know me, super cute. And then on this side I did my whole like matcha tea motifs. So yeah, I'm really excited to use this too and see what I'll put in here. The next items are just kind of some random little tidbits that I got from different areas. So I got these two art prints from a Hanok village, which is kind of like a traditional Korean style village. So this was from the Bukchon Hanok village, and I just got these two prints because I really loved the way that they painted these. I love the colors in this one, and same with this. I just thought the paintwork was really pretty. From Artbox I got a couple stickers. I honestly didn't really like Artbox stationery that much. It was too kind of like simple and cutesy for me, but I got a pack of Clover stickers, which I thought were nice. I also got this melon soda stick-on patch. You can put it on like your phone or like your journal or something. So, but yeah, that is everything that I got that was art and stationery related in Seoul. I think when I go to Japan, I definitely lean a lot heavier on the stationery because I love their stationery designs there. I had a lot of fun exploring all of the new stores, and I feel like this time around too, I was more focused on like art supplies because I'm more into art than like bullet journaling now. But I'm really excited to try out all of the stuff that I got. So look out for some more videos trying out those Korean paints that I got. I'm gonna be doing kind of like a miscellaneous haul for all the accessories and like skincare items that I got. So if you don't want to watch that, feel free to skip over this part. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you enjoyed looking at all the stuff you got. If you're going to Korea, I definitely recommend checking out some of the stores that I went to. There's a lot of them that I saw on YouTube on like other videos that I actually didn't get to go to. So there's plenty out there, especially, you know, in Asia. They're very into stationery and art and stuff like that. So if you like this video, subscribe. We can be friends. Feel free to leave me a comment down below of what you liked the most or what you would be excited to use yourself. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.